$10,000 subscribers is quite the benchmark. I thank you for subscribing. 10,000 individual human beings clicked the subscribe button, but probably only a small percent clicked the bell for notifications. So click that bell for notifications. New episodes coming soon. The Pirate House 1830s house documentary is coming soon. I went there on 3 separate nights of 3 separate months last year. And I plan to go there a couple times this year as well. So there's going to be a part 2 to the documentary. I wanted to make a custom soundtrack for the video. I made a custom soundtrack for the last video, and someone said it's kind of scary subject. It definitely is. I'm not going to go into that crime investigation trail. That's not my style. Usually I go to an area and I don't care about the history, but people are interested about the history. The Foothills Mall. You can go there. You can have your own millimeter, your own camera, and you can get the same findings I did, intelligent responses from intelligent spirits. But if you go there many times, spirits open up to you. I've said this many times. I do not practice witchcraft. I do not practice black magic. I do not practice occultism, but I respect knowledge. I respect information. I respect the information in occult books. So I will read them, and I never purchased a single occult book until about 3 years after my extreme haunted room incident. Because after I thought about it for 3 years, I was like, you know what? Wikipedia doesn't know anything about this subject. Wikipedia and the internet in general, extremely vastly ignorant on this subject of spiritual matters. Poltergeists are intelligent beings. Noisy ghost in German, but it's just a catch-all phrase for spirits that can move objects. A lot of people say, oh no, it's this, it's that, it's here, it's there. I experienced it. I have an opinion. And when you really search, you're not going to find too many people that even have a first-hand witness of 6 months of poltergeist encounters. Roger Morneau, rest in peace, he passed away. I did fleetingly hear him one time say, I believe it's in one of the interviews, he said, oh yeah, for 6 months after I left this horrible group, I was poltergeist haunted. And he talked about it. Lamps levitated off the ground. Pictures levitated off the walls. I never saw such levitation, excepting last year. I did see wires levitate in my room, even my current room now. I have a documentary, The Attributes of Demons, which now has over 100,000 subscribers. So people say, how does this guy get views? 100,000 people just watched The Attributes of Demons, my first documentary on the attributes of demons. There's going to be a part 2, a lot of commentary. How come you only talked about X-ray vision? Because originally it wasn't supposed to be a documentary. Originally it was supposed to be one video on demons have X-ray vision. Spirits in a higher dimension look down and they could literally see through us. It's a strange concept. But I did repeat myself over and over. Demons have X-ray vision. Spirits in a higher dimension in general have X-ray vision. And disagree if you want. But I made a video of 3 reasons why I believe that's the case. Very few people watched that video. 3 reasons why I know demons have X-ray vision. Check that video out if you want to know the 3 reasons. Some of my videos trend 100,000 views. Some of them get 100 views. And that's how YouTube works. I'm definitely not someone that plays the YouTube game. I'll purposely make an unpopular video for the purposes of, I want to get this information out. If 100 people see it, so be it. I definitely don't follow the trends concerning what's trending, what's hot. Let's use that phrase. Let's use that thumbnail. I like to do the exact opposite. I'm a fan of the underdog. I am a pretty extreme underdog on YouTube, but there are other underdogs, you know? I mean, I'm very supportive of other YouTubers. I'm going to have more live videos, live chats. If you do the same thing I do or similar, no one does the same thing I do, but if even remotely, ghost investigations, you read occult books, you're interested in spiritual, supernatural subjects, perhaps you can come on and join us as we talk live on future live streams. Now, 10,000 subscribers, never thought I'd reach that. That is definitely a benchmark that you have to hit before you can even apply to go to a YouTube party. For example, YouTube hosts different events. To even gain access to one of those events, you either have to have connections, because I know there's a YouTuber that had like 1,000 subscribers and they went to one of the events. I said, hey, you're supposed to have 10,000. And they said, oh, my other account's private. Well, you're not going to get any views with a private account. That's beside the point. But now I can officially apply and be rejected. Face it. Let's face it. I'm going to be immediately rejected with any. They're going to say, oh, you're 10,000 subscribers? You must have good content. Demons? No, you're not invited. So if I hit 100,000 subscribers, I'd be extremely surprised if I even got a play button. Extremely surprised. But we're 90,000 subscribers away from that. I heard they pick and choose who gets a play button. All of my content is original. Sure, I use clips rarely, few and far between, for review and response purposes, but this is not a reaction channel. 90% of my content is my face talking, or my hand holding a millimeter, or an investigation where I'm 100% original content. I make my own music. I use analog equipment. The last song I used a Korg bass machine. I used a micro Korg, and I used some little tiny Japanese, I don't even know what it's called, but it was cool. I hooked it up with a Korg echo pedal. It gave some nice reverb. I can show you the process of me making music on the spot during a live stream, but all these wires have to be connected, and I do have the ability to do it. I have to have the microphone separate from, it's a complicated process. I have to figure out, I don't know how it works. But I bought a significant amount of wires last year. We're talking, Walmart had a sale on their website, which they regularly do, and the wires were dirt cheap. They're like 50 cents a wire or $1 a wire. So I bought excess too many wires. I bought like 30 wires or something, 30 of these wires. And so the literal demonic entity last year, not too many weeks or months after my Mysterialis episode 1, Corners of Rooms Investigation Experiment, this demon walked in my room. It's like, huh, this guy knows we have X-ray vision. What else does he know? He's like, this guy has a pile of wires on his desk, and the thing was actually playing with my wires. Maybe it was after it played with the wires. I was watching a movie on Netflix. I took my headphones off. I heard a noise. I turned my head around from my laptop, and I saw the wires levitate and drop, and they were clinking against my metal desk. Wires with metal ends banging on my metal desk, and I was kind of in amazement. So I kind of watched it for a good minute straight. The entity proceeded to touch things in my room. Like, oh, that's cool. It didn't pick it up, but it definitely like touched things. And then it walked back to the wires and stepped on the wires that were on my ground, on my floor, and I could hear it and see the impressions. And when I saw that, I knew where it was. So I jumped up and I walked straight to where he was standing. And I said, this is my room. This is my domain. I'm king of this castle. And it saw that I had zero fear. It took off immediately. I didn't make any deal with it. Come on to the live stream. But to be honest, I think there was a live stream 2 days later. And it was unsuccessful. Very convenient for a skeptic, but that's the true story. That actually happened. I would take a lie detector test. Whatever hooked me up It happened. Luckily, I haven't been harassed much ever since that. Ghost investigating is definitely dancing on the edge. It's definitely the gray area. It's definitely on the fence. It can easily be a slippery slope into the realm of inviting a lot of evil into your life. In Attributes of Demons documentary 2, I'm definitely going to talk about how demons have the ability to manipulate emotions. Something I, suspected, but something I didn't really grasp. How easily they can put two best friends into a death match. Now, they're not going to kill each other, but they'll punch each other in the face and they don't know why they're even mad. Negative entities have the ability to manipulate emotions to an extreme degree. There are other, obviously, hundreds, but I don't want to brag on how many attributes a demon has. I'm not here to brag. I'm here to say, don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid. They've been here before you knew they were here, and they'll be here after you're dead. Demons hanging out and paying attention to you is as natural as these plants around me. They're a natural part of the landscape of planet Earth. This is just a rambling video of me rambling. 10,000 subscribers. I'm very happy for 10,000 subscribers. Here's my happy face. 10,000 subscribers. Whew, that's a lot. 90,000 subscribers to go. I'll have a 10,000 subscriber goal reached giveaway soon because we reached the goal. We hit it. The giveaways are not a thing that I do very often. I had a Back to the Future video back in 2008. That was my first giveaway. I gave away the props that I made and I acquired for the most comments. Back then, most comments would put you onto the most commented page on YouTube. That's how that video reached its first 50,000 views. It was actually on the front page, linked through most discussed. It was on the most discussed page. Anything where a regular human off the street uploading a video can get on the front page was eliminated from this particular video website. So it's very tough to be recommended, but my Attributes of Demons video has been recommended. Unbeknownst to me, I have no idea how it happened. I've never advertised, but perhaps if I worked really hard on a video, like the 1830s pirate house haunted, there's one ghost there confirmed, very interactive, very responsive, intelligent responses. If I feel that video is really good, I think it will be. If it deserves its own soundtrack, I think it's going to be pretty good. I might splurge and buy a couple dollars of advertising for that video. I don't know. It's up in the air. It'd be nice if I could branch off. Hey, speaking of branching off, I made a new logo. Tell me what you think of this new logo. Mysterialis Ghost Investigation logo. I made it myself. Took a while. I was inspired by the M in runic, Viking runic, Germanic runic. I don't know the difference. They all look the same, but the M with an X, and I guess man is what it stands for in Viking or the Germanic runes. And it was just an X with lines. I liked it though. I liked it better than a regular M. M for Mysterialis. New t-shirts with this design are available on my Teespring. They support this channel. They support future investigations. And then I kind of put like lightning in between. Instead of just an X, it's lightning. And I was like, it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Needs an extra bit of punch, extra bite. And so I put an extra bit of a bite on there. I specifically made this logo for patches. I'm going to be ordering some patches for the hats, for shirts, jackets, specifically jackets and hats, pretty much. Velcro on the back for the hats. I already have Velcro hats. I'll just pop it on there. I wanted it to have a cool feel to it, and the extra bite, I actually added fangs underneath just for nothing other than to give it a little bite. I'm a ghost investigator, but I'm not a wimp. I'm not going to run away. I'm going to dig my heels in and find out if this place is haunted or not. That works in some places, and it backfires in others. Most definitely. I think Gus the Ghost of the Comedy Store was intimidated by me and wanted to conceal his existence, and only revealed himself a smidge my last 2 hours, other than on the Melmeter a few readings. So some are really, really reluctant. I'd say that spirit manipulated the emotions of some of the employees that worked there to greatly bother me. And they're never going to realize that. They're just going to think, I don't like that guy. I don't know why I don't like that guy. I just don't like him. And perhaps they just didn't like me. But I think concerning the management, and I've heard this from other people that work there, they could be super nice one day and super mean the next day, even to the point of kicking Joe Rogan out of the store and banning him against the wishes of the owners. The management disliking Joe Rogan, the owners liking him. And that was the management many years ago. Joe Rogan's obviously welcome to the location. There's a tweet from Joe Rogan saying he wants to join any ghost investigations on the Comedy Store that's probably haunted. He believes it. But this tweet was many years ago. A good number of years ago. We're talking 5 years ago. Now he's definitely not talking about ghosts existing, almost making fun of a guest on his podcast for believing in ghosts. It's a podcast question. Do you believe in ghosts? Because it gets a lot of views when you put that little bite of, yeah. But there's a guest on Joe Rogan's podcast. She is a musician. I can't remember her name. I'm going to say someone incorrect, but they said they tour. And they're probably in 100 different hotels a year. Maybe 50 different hotels a year. They tour a lot. They travel a lot. I don't go to no 50 hotels a year, but this famous musician does. Understandably. They said about one time a year, they happen to stay in an extremely haunted room at least one time a year, which numbers-wise makes sense. If you went to 50 hotels a year, you probably would bump into and be forced to sleep in a haunted room. She said she talked to the spirits and said, hey, I'm just a musician. I'm going to perform tonight or tomorrow night. You're welcome to join and watch the performance. And she would invite the ghost to keep it down and let her sleep. And she would give them free tickets. If a ghost can follow her, they would, I'm sure. Some ghosts are stuck at locations, like the Foothills Mall ghosts. They say they are stuck there. I think that possibly are assigned there. I've been talking about this for years. I believe there are landlocked spirits that are demons that, for one reason or another, every single plot of land on the planet Earth has to have a spirit in areas which they designate. Not our borders, but their spiritual borders, which would account for spirits of the forest, spirits of the field, spirits of the stream, spirits of the mountains, spirits of the wilderness. In China, in Taoism, they believe greatly that every stream, every river, every mountain has its own guardian spirit. And that's something I resonate with. I think that's definitely possible. Mountains. If we can get a good shot of these mountains here. Supposedly on the tops of mountains, spirits reside. It's something talked about in many different cultures. One story comes to mind. Not a fan of this guy, but it's a story concerning mountains and spirits. Aleister Crowley, supposedly one of the first Westerners to ever reach the peaks of K2. K2 is known as the Savage Mountain due to the extreme difficulty of ascent. It's officially the world's second tallest mountain. So Aleister Crowley, he was hiking up the peaks, and he claims at the top of the mountain there was a spirit that caused extra weather to push them down so they wouldn't reach the peak. But they did reach the peak, but it's interesting that it caused weather, harsh weather, to push them down. It reminds me of a book I half read. I need to finish it and do a review. It's an amazing book. I highly recommend it. It's called Magic and Mystery in Tibet. And it reveals magic in Buddhism that I didn't know existed. So there's definitely some magic occultism in different sects of Buddhism that I, as a Westerner, am not exposed to. But those entrenched in different Buddhism sects, they're going to be more familiar with these stories. And the author of this book, Magic and Mystery in Tibet, she, I believe, was a Westerner, and as a woman became quite the esteemed Buddhist. She met the Dalai Lama. She met other great Buddhist leaders and masters, and she learned their ways. She chose who she wanted to be taught under. She liked the Dalai Lama, and she knew he's too busy, so she looked for a master that could really teach her the uncensored truth behind Buddhist magic. It's a pretty intense book. She has a picture of herself, and I believe there's a dagger. And I don't know if she made the dagger herself, but she said the dagger was made from human bone. And that's a common thing that sorcerers in Buddhism, in the circles she was running in back in the day, they used human bones, human remains as sacred relics, sacred objects. Something you see in occultism today, but not nearly as common. But she talked about how there's different methods to kill someone. Oh man, she talks about how there are Buddhist meditation masters that learn techniques to prevent from being killed by evil spirits. She said, and this is why the story reminded me of this, there are Buddhist sorcerers who can cause it to rain or snow using magic alone. Sounds like something straight out of a video game, straight out of a movie. She said she saw it. She witnessed rain out of nowhere and asked her magical Buddhist master, and he told her, this is a sorcerer causing this rain to keep us away from this area. Seems insane, right? I read a Scandinavian magic book, and the guy disbelieved in magic. He had zero belief in it. He said, the ancient Vikings, they believed in this stuff because they're dumb. But the ancients weren't as dumb as modern enlightened man believes. A lot of the ancients were spiritual giants, and they understood spirits are all over the place. If you connect with nature, even skeptics can say, oh sure, there's a spirit about this area, using the word spirit really generically. But literal guardian spirits guard the wilderness. Well, stay tuned. More episodes coming soon. 10,000 subscribers. Thank you for the support. I greatly appreciate it. Every t-shirt sale, I sold another t-shirt. It's a small thing, but it greatly motivates me. Ooh, I'm seeing a guardian of the wash, an owl. This is a sign. Let's try to get pictures of these owls. I see the owls that guard this natural environment on a regular basis, to the point where they might be familiar with me. They are the guardians of the wash, And I consider myself a guardian of the wash too. I like to be respectful. I never leave my trash here. I always take it, try to keep it clean. Stay tuned. More episodes coming soon. Patches coming soon. Patreon.com/Razimus. The Patreon patrons are going to get a patch each. I'm going to say, hey, do you want a patch? What's your address? And I'll get any past Patreon patrons a patch. Even though these patches are probably going to cost me $5 each, I don't know. I tried to get them a patch each. A Mysterialis patch. I'm going to have the rectangle ones. I'm going to have a circle one, maybe a shield one, maybe one at a time. This might take a while. I am writing Corners of Rooms. That book is coming in the future. I want it to come this year. But funds, you know, you have to secure 500 copies. That costs thousands of dollars. I want it to be hardback. I always want the best of the best of the best. And short of that's not good enough. I'm thankful for the many subscribers. Thank you for your support. Stay tuned. More episodes coming soon. I thank you for watching. Be seeing you.